All right. He said, not in this one, but he also said, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you." That's whether somebody done you wrong or done you good. We're supposed to love them unconditionally and forgive them for whatever they have done to us. Because I don't know about y'all, but I do the Lord wrong a lot, and I need a lot of forgiveness for it. But on Matthew 5:38 through 42, it says, "Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twine. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away." That's what I was just saying a while ago. Even though they done us wrong, if they ask for your coat, you give them everything that you got. Regardless of how you feel towards them or how wrong they done you or anything like that, that's loving somebody unconditionally. And that's also how Christ loves us. Like I said, that's how we do him wrong on a daily basis, and he still loves us through no matter what. And then in John 15:12 through 13, I told you we're going to be all over the place. Because the Bible's full of examples of love. It's got love on everything. Relationships, husbands, wives, friends, enemies, lost people. It's got all of it. But John 15:12 through 13. This is my commandment. This is what I was saying earlier. I wanted to read it to you that way you didn't think I was making it up or something. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And the Bible talks about how God sent his only begotten Son to die for us. And then it says that that's no greater love than that. And so that's how we should look at anybody, even our enemies, because I just showed you in the Bible where it says that we're supposed to treat pretty much our enemies like that too. We're supposed to love them enough to where we would lay our life down for them no matter what. But we should also love and forgive others, because we have been forgiven for so much and loved through so much. We shouldn't judge or condemn anyone. That's God's part to do. But we are to love them in spite how they use us or wrong us, just like the Lord has us. If we can't love our neighbor as ourselves, how can we truly love God? He don't always answer my prayers right when I think he needs to, or always do exactly what I want him to do, but I still love him. We will stop talking to certain people just because they said something to hurt our feelings, but then expect God to love and forgive us every time we ask. A lot of times we try to make people pay for how they do us, and that's not our part. Like I said, we stop talking to them or give them the cold shoulder, or tell them they can't come around or something like that. But God tells us to love them, and then God will convict them. And most of the time it's through us loving them in spite. That's what convicts them. Is because no matter how they treated us, that they're being convicted through that because we're loving them anyway. I wrote down here because this is how I looked at it. That would be like my kids spanking each other for how they treat each other instead of letting me or Brittany do it.
Oh my, that's good. That's a good analogy. That's pretty good.
It's not their place. It's not their place to correct each other.
That's right.
It's the Father's place. So if God is my Father, then that's His place to convict whoever's doing me wrong and to convict me if I do somebody else wrong.
Amen.
And then we're going to be in Luke 10:27 through 37. All right. In Luke 10:27 through 37. And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto them, Thou hast answered right, this do, and thou shalt live. But he willingly do justify himself, said unto Jesus, And who is my neighbor? And Jesus answering said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and he went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave him to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said unto him, Go and do thou likewise. A lot of times, I'll just read you this verse and I'll talk. That was a story of the Good Samaritan. If you didn't get it, I'm sure you've heard it before, but it shows that we should never be too proud or busy to help or love anyone. The priest and the Levite, they was probably busy, or some of them, there's people out there that we won't even talk to or look at out in public because of how we're going to look. But helping people, that's the kind of love that we're supposed to share to other people. If that was me in the ditch, I would want y'all to help me. Or if that was my kid or wife, I would want y'all to help them. And likewise, if you see someone heading for destruction or hell, if we're Christians, or if we're Christians and you see them falling off and heading for the ditch, we ought to love them enough to help and get them back on the right track.
That's right, brother.
A lot of times, like I said, we're either too proud where we don't want to let certain people see us talking to certain people, or we're just too busy in our own life. But where it says that whatever the host, where it said that whatever he spendest, that he will repay thee. God's watching us, and we might not get repaid for it down here, but we will be repaid for it. And so I'd want to take care of everything that I could here. I want my blessings to be on my kids and my wife.
Amen. Amen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother.
Amen. Touch that heart.
Yeah. Feels good to have that Holy Ghost massage in that heart.
But in Colossians 3:12 and 17.
What'd you say, Colossians what?
3:12-17. It says, "Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness of long-suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against thee, against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in our hearts to the Lord. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him." But whenever we do something out of love, it's not selfish. It don't look to get nothing back. It don't look for praise or glory from it. So whenever we do something, we're supposed to do it for the Lord, where He gets all the praise and glory. Because somewhere in here I couldn't find it. I tried to find it before I come in, but it says, "Whatever you do in secret, that He will bring to light, and whatever you do in light, then that's your praise. That's your reward from it." And so, whatever you do for yourself, others are going to see it that you're doing it for yourself, and that's going to be your reward. But, I'd rather have the Lord bless me through doing it in secret. And then lastly, I want to read, hang on. "Remember, all our good deeds are for nothing without love." And that's like I just explained. But lastly, go to 1 Corinthians 13. First Corinthians 13. I'm going to read 2-10. All right. "And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and I have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and I have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up, doeth not behave itself unseemingly, seeketh not her own. It is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in truth, bearing all things, believing all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away." So, a lot of people's not going to, they're not going to respond to you loving well. But it says that all that they say against you, all that will go away. All that, whenever the Lord takes care of them, the truth will be revealed. And but that's pretty much how we're supposed to love, and that's what charity is. And so, like I said before, love is unselfish and it's unconditional, how we're supposed to love one another. But it's not just inside the church. We're supposed to take it out there. It does no good to keep it in here. All of us are professing Christians, so we're supposed to take it to a lost and dying world. But like I said, in your Bibles, there's a lot of stuff on love, but that's what the Lord wanted me to bring y'all. But really, there's like 100 things on love. I seen it back here at the back. On all different stuff. On, like I said, relationships, enemies. There's all kinds of stuff. So read about love and how we're supposed to love one another. And the Lord will bless you for it. All right? That's it.